to, I think I'll feel something is missing. My name is Solomon Opio, and for the Innovation Village, I lead the tech initiatives, the tech community at the Innovation Village, and all the other things that Sankara mentioned. So I'm a software engineer, and I love talking about the journey. First of all, when Primera was speaking, I was just agreeing. Now, one thing that she talked about that had actually not crossed my mind is the fact that developers actually work, it's like twice more than the other. Now, that had not, I didn't really think about it. Then I used to think, then I thought about the times when you're there, you have worked, you're trying to figure out something, code is not working, and you're like, let me go home, I'll figure it out from home. So you get home, you're on your PC. You try to work out something, before you know it, it's 4 a.m. You know? So that's the kind of life that, you know. When I got married, we had people who were telling me, man, how? You mean developers also get married? That kind of thing. Because now I started my journey, of course, when I left the university in 2013, I joined Outbox. Outbox is a technology hub. I worked with Outbox for 5 years. And when we used to be in office and, you know, spending in the night, midnight reaches, we are still there, you know, and it was fun. For us, it was fun. So the journey, now from the time we started, I now need to get back to why I'm here. First of all, I want to start by appreciating and congratulating all of you for making it this far. So if I were you, I would be clapping. So while working with developers, right from with the Google developer groups, and then also leading the Outbox community, and then getting into the Innovation Village, one thing we have seen, now the first thing that we noticed was the fact that we had very few ladies in the tech field. Very few. In fact, Andela in 2019 did a survey where we found out that only 16% of developers were ladies, women. So we used to run programs looking at, there was a program we ran at Outbox, which was, it was called the Women Passion Program. We wanted to increase the number of women in technology by 25%. It was hard. It was hard. And up to now, it's still a struggle. But at least we can see that, you know, in this room, we have quite a number of ladies. In 2021, the Innovation Village did a survey, and now the numbers had increased. You are looking at now from 16%, it had gone to 23%. I'm not sure how. I contested, because we are still seeing very few ladies in technology. So now the beauty about the tech space right now is that we have the resources. Now, coming out of the university then, we did not have, you know, these other programs. You get out of the university, and then you're getting into a program like this. You wouldn't see a thing like, you wouldn't see these things. I remember, if you're to talk about the groups, yes, now we have the Google developer groups, the Google Cloud developer communities. We have, yes, I want to consider this a group as well, a community of people who are getting out of the Kanzu Code bootcamp. We have the Code Queens. Now, these are quite a number you can think about. We used to have what we called the .NET user group, meeting monthly. And I usually discourage the idea of meeting monthly. So this month you're meeting, talking about, maybe introduction to, web development, touching a bit of, just a bit of code. The next month you're meeting, I can tell you, you'll have completely a new set of people. So the monthly meetups would not work. But now we have all these and a lot of resources. When you want help, you can get to, there are very many communities. So when you see me dressed like this, I mean, I'm coming from the blockchain Dev Fest, which is coming. I had someone also speak about the same event. So people were talking about, people were saying it's the first time they're seeing me dressed like this. It's because after here, I have to go for someone's wedding. This is not my kind of, So this is not my kind of dressing, especially for these events. So that is another community. We have seen that kind of experience. People get through, several programs. Someone talked about refactory. Now, the knowledge you get from the university is definitely different from what you are receiving here. There is what the industry wants, and then there is a theory you're going to find at the university. Now, the university, because you have several other things to do, the lecturers can only give you what? So much. So I'm not saying the lecturers at the universities are not doing the right thing, but because there is limited time, but here the focus is on what is within the industry. Primero talked about design. The people who call themselves UI UX designers in Uganda, most of them are actually graphics designers. Graphics designers. So that is a challenge we started facing from way back 2013 when I started. We had a lot of that. Someone is a graphics designer, and when you say, okay, we are looking for UI UX designers, the graphics designers come to. So there is a big challenge. Now, there are things I usually share with the developers. Some of them have been mentioned. But one thing I want to tell you is that if you've gotten into this field, one thing you need to know is that if you leave the code for the next 3 months, you're going to come back and start from scratch. So that means what you have started is not ending today with the graduation. Are we together? So you need to keep practicing. We are building a platform that I'm going to tell you that about that later. But that should enable us get the opportunities we need and be able to gain the experience that we need in the field. So consistency. Consistency is one thing we need to think about. No one is going to employ you when you're there, seated, waiting for a job. You're done with the coding, and now you're waiting for someone to come and employ you. Continue and build as many apps as possible. The time Andela left Uganda, I remember, we were invited for for breakfast. So Andela wanted to tell us why they were leaving Uganda. And I remember one of them called me because I was delayed by jam. So I happened to be in the car with another software. This was a software engineering student. And the guy claimed that he is a senior developer. This is a student who, by then he was in his third year. He said he's an advanced developer. Because by then, Andela was looking for advanced developers, senior developers. So the question was, what defines a senior developer? You may be having, your knowledge of code, but another thing that sells you are the projects you have done. So work on them, you see. Remember I just shared. These are not, some of them may not be coming from what someone told her to build, but she said, how can we make life easy in some area, And they said, okay, we could come up with an application that does ABCD. Begin working on it. But if you're there seated waiting for, the jobs to come, my friend, it's not going to be, the jobs are not going to be yours. There are very many people looking for developers every now and then, but I can tell you that the space we are in, the supply is very limited. And yet every year we have so many trainings and people begin to think that we are not what? We are not doing enough. But the jobs are there. The jobs are there, but the people we are training are playing. So I hope you're not going to be in that category. So the second thing I will talk about is the fact that, now this is what she actually shared about. But I just want to give you a bit of examples around that. You having to, have those LinkedIn accounts, or even having to be on Twitter, those social media platforms, but most especially the professional ones, and making sure that they're up to date. It's very key. Now, I'll give an example from the Council Code, and not Council Code. We have also had the Code Queens. The Code Queens have also been having their sessions from here. 3 months. And we had students who came for this program, and in the 3 months, they share about, what they have been learning online and on LinkedIn. Now the ones, I remember three of them shared on LinkedIn, and companies reached out to them. Can you come and work with us? So I remember one of them saying, but you see, I've not really done enough. I'm still a beginner. We only did this program for 3 months. They told her, you come, we shall put you on a training for the next 10 months while we pay you and then employ you. Now, if you've done all these things and you keep it to yourselves, you're not, sharing about what you've done and stuff like that, where do you expect the jobs to find you? Now remember, in this field, it's about the jobs finding you. It's very likely that when you go looking for a job, you won't find it. But if you're good at what you're doing, then the jobs will find you, but you need to share. Sankara mentioned that I lead the Google developer groups. Now there was a time we had a program. We had what we were calling the cloud mentorship program. I love cloud. Actually, I remember again recently I was making, just this week, I was making some configurations for some company, and things had failed. I went back home. I said I will fix it from home. I think that day I slept at 2, but eventually it worked. It worked. I slept at 2. So let's learn to share. Now, the opportunities I got around, now there are very many developer groups in all over the world, actually. But the Googlers saw what we were doing in the space, and I happened to be invited for Google Cloud community conference in the US. That was around 2017. That was my first trip to the US. I'm not saying I'd not gotten on a plane, but to the US, that was the first. In fact, that year, I was invited twice to basically go and share about what we were doing with the wider community. We happened to, now in that conference, we had mostly the Google Cloud experts. There's a program called the Google Cloud Experts under the Google Developer Program. Attended mostly by the Google Developer Experts, were about 160. We happened to be three blacks. The rest were whites. But if I'd not shared those, maybe it would end with an invitation to Google I/O, which is part of the program. It is part of the program, but this one, now the next time I was invited for Google Cloud Next, all from sharing what is happening. So it's not just about sharing, putting on your status for fun. It yields something. Now that is number 2. The other one is for us to actually get into now supporting communities, supporting your friends. You have learned, please come and deliver. Come and deliver. We do so many programs, but one thing, the kind of people I run away from when it comes to community building are the people who are going to be asking for money. And I've had so many developers who come and say, we have learned. Now we also want to teach our friends. Now you remember if you were in, when you're at school, you're going to be, there are those people who always come and they discuss for their friends. They master their thing. Are we together? So when they master their thing, the gates are opened for them. People know that, so and so knows their thing. Now, if you're to look at the program I just talked about, there are people who have tried to join the program, the Google Experts program. There are people who have tried. It goes through an application process. Then there are some exams you do. Even if you know your Google technology in and out, if you do not have a community profile, you can never become a Google developer expert. They have so many opportunities. Google sends, projects to them. They do projects. But if you have not been immersed within community to actually support developers, learn those technologies, you cannot become a Google developer expert. Many have tried. People that we know their technologies in and out, but it doesn't work. So let's embrace that. Find time to actually come and deliver, give back to community. You have learned, now come. I'm very happy to hear from you. Someone calls me and tells me, please, I learned this concept. I want to share it with, community. I'll get a session for you. So I encourage all of us, to take this, all these that we have shared, very seriously. Let's not get discouraged. I want to tell you that the jobs are there. Now, the last, what I was telling us about, what we are building is a platform that actually brings all the developers together at different levels, for us to have those opportunities to learn, but also to be placed on projects that we can also, you know, come and be a part of and get paid. We want value for the developers. It's something that we're already working on. We also faced another challenge with, of course, you know, designers. Designers, I mean, these guys are jokers. In Uganda, we are jokers. So we end up getting, you know, we get out of Uganda to actually find designers for things that we actually, you know, we have taught, we have, you know, all these things. But there are those who specialize and they know their thing. Maybe I should be getting to my friend here, and we have those discussions around design. So this one comes and tells you, you know, this is going to take us ABCD, very expensive, very, very expensive. And you can put your souls to that level. When where you know the value for what you're delivering, you know your worth. We are going to look for designers and still come back to you. We are going to look for developers and come back to you. So we shall be letting you know about those projects, specifically this first one. But once again, the Innovation Village, maybe the other thing I did not mention about the Innovation Village, some of us have been doing more of the virtual sessions, right? Some of us could actually be here for the first time. Is that correct? So if you're here for the first time, yes, I know you are here virtually, but what the Innovation Village does is to support innovations. There is what you're doing which needs to have the value that Primera also mentioned about. You're working on something, but it needs to be one that actually sells, one that stands out. That is what the Innovation Village does. Now, there's a unit that is called the digital economy. The digital economy is basically supporting, we have run programs around mobile applications development, and also what they do basically is to support farmers to use their cards. But there are devices that were built by them to basically look at. Now, developers need to build for that device. It's based on Android. It's more on Android. So building apps for that. Now, the other unit is Future Labs, which focuses more on now taking the entrepreneurs to another level. You have done, yes, you have an idea, but how do you then get to the market? So for the developers, we have supported several programs, and I want to encourage all of you, if you need any assistance within this space, within the tech space, please reach out. But most importantly, please join the communities that we have for you to get the opportunities that, that are presented before you. The Innovation Village is here in Central. We have Eastern in Jinja. There's a branch there. There is Gulu, and then Mbarara. So when you get to those places and you need to get to the innovation village, you can always pay a visit. With that, I want to again congratulate you.